Sad Dads Q2.5 report.
Is that what we were going to call it?
Well, that's what I called it whenever I ask about it, but here we are.
Nobody showed up.
Nobody showed up.
I showed up.
You did show up, to my surprise, while I was trying to plow out the rest of House of Cards.
How many seasons is House of Cards? Because here on 5.
There's 6 seasons, but the fifth or the 6th one was short because, you know, all the Kevin Spacey stuff.
I thought it went on for like a couple of seasons after that.
No, they cut it pretty short, which is I mean, you know, when you get to about the 5th season of a show, you're tired of watching it, but you just got to plow it out.
Yes.
But it's still a good show.
And I do it with shows that I've seen before. I have a rotation of shows that I just watch that I've watched 100 times.
I'm 100% convinced that House of Cards is basically what our government is.
I would think so. Yes.
I mean, all the cutting deals and whipping people and, you know,
the shit.
Yeah.
I failed already.
It's like all those people. You tried.
I didn't. I forgot.
You know, all those congressmen that are like, I'm going to go to Washington and make a difference. And then they get into the machine and they're cutting deals left and right. And
Getting rich.
I mean, that's just another layer too. They don't even talk about that really in House of Cards. It's just like all the shenanigans of, you know, you vote for this and you do that. And it's kind of dirty.
Yes.
Or actually, it's very disgusting.
Welcome to government.
So I've got probably about 10 episodes left. The idea was I was going to try to hammer it out today, but then I'm going to Clarksville later, so I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it, which is fine. I'm tired of watching it. Actually, I'm tired of sitting out here.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why I came here, because I've been sitting at home for 2 days.
Tired of sitting out here because the remodel up there is annoying.
Well, my house is in shambles for different reasons, but like for a week, my bed was in the living room. My dressers are still in the dining room.
Yeah.
So whenever I want to put underwear on, I gotta wander out to the dining room.
Well, it's better than washing dishes in your bathroom sink.
Because you don't have a kitchen right now, do you?
No, I don't have anything. And then it's funny because I started thinking about it because Jack and Zephyr went downstairs last night to cook something, and I was like, oh yeah, there's a stove down there and a sink.
Yes.
I was like, why don't we do that?
Because Jack and Zephyr did that.
Because they're not actively living down there or anything.
I don't know. How's the camper?
It's fine. It's stocked full of my vending machine goods right now.
Well, that's not a good thing.
Well, I had to get it out of Jack's room because he needed space to hang out, and so I moved it out there. But now we're talking about going camping next weekend, so I'm going to have to move it again.
Because that's your new thing is camping.
Yeah, it was kind of
glamping.
Fun. Speaking of camping.
Oh, okay. All right, let's go into it.
Well, I was going to save this for the Two Sad Dads, but we'll talk about it now. I guess.
I know that you've been holding on to this.
Well, it's just a story.
I know you've been holding on to this story, wanting to tell it.
So it's not anything extravagant, but it's something that happened in my life that's out of the ordinary.
Hey, it's a change.
It is a change.
Something that got you out of the house.
So, as you know, I buy this camper because actually I did a really good job because normally like I'd have you or the old man, RIP Freeman H, back in the day, like find a good deal for me because I just don't like the art of finding a good deal. I want to have a good deal, but I don't like doing it.
Okay, I like doing it, but I don't like actually paying for it.
I'd rather pay for it than to have to deal with it. So I did this myself. I looked all over the place, far and wide, for the perfect camper, and I found it. I got a good deal on it.
You did get a good. Look at that. Yes.
It's morning time.
It is.
I did get a good deal. I did get a good deal on it, but I had to drive 2 hours away, which is fine. I'm willing to drive 2 hours for a good deal. So we buy this camper. It's a 2025 Coleman Lantern, so it's new. I've only been used maybe 2 or 3 times, and I got it for the right price. And you know, whenever you've had the experience of driving somewhere to get something and it being like bad.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about that the whole time in the back of my head.
Or them not show up.
Yes. So I'm thinking that the whole time. I'm like, I don't want to waste 2 hours of my life driving out here to get this thing and then it just be too good to be true. And so I was thinking about your situation when you drove out to like Chattanooga or something
Twice.
to get screwed over. So I get out there and the guy's like, he's a young guy, probably mid-30s or something, out in the country. And he just, I guess they're building a house, so they just needed the money. So, all right, I won that one. I got that. So I drove it home. And so we bought it with the intention of living in it while they're doing this remodel on my house, which is a good plan because when you do the math on it, you're going to be spending like 10 grand or more on hotel stays or Airbnb or whatever. And so this made more sense.
Well, especially because the price you got it, you could resell it.
Yeah. After a few months when the house is done, if we want to resell it, we can. So we get it. I put it over here. It's sitting out in my driveway. And we're like, let's go camping. We got this camper. Let's try it out. Never lived the camper life.
You became Gene Harold.
I did become Gene. R.I.P. Gene.
R.I.P.
So I was like, all right, let's go camping. So Nikki books us this place called Crooked Creek, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away from Fairview West, like past Hickman County area. And I'm like, okay, $30 a night. And so Nikki books it, but you had to wait for them to approve it, which you were supposed to come over. And I was like, well, if it doesn't get approved or whatever, then we'll do this. But it got approved like at the last minute. So last Friday, we're like, all right, I left work a little bit early and I came home, picked up the camper, picked up Nikki and Frank, and we start driving out on our journey.
Because Frank's a camper dog.
He is a camper dog. He was fantastic, by the way. Yeah. He barks his little face off here, but he made no peep the whole time we were there. So we go out to this place, and look, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you here on this pod, as I usually try to be. But the lady told Nikki there, she's like, oh, basically you can pull into whichever spot you want because I think there's only one person there. And so in my mind, I'm like, well, hell yeah, that's good because I can drive a trailer fine because I have many years of experience doing that. But I don't like people watching me.
Yes, I agree.
I'm not 100% sure at this point, like how to set everything up, like the shit pipes, setting up the water. And so like, I'm new to all of this. And I don't want to look dumb, which is something I need to work on.
No, I get it. I get it.
Work on not caring what people think. So there's all these things that go into camping, which are very minor, and I did learn what I wanted to learn. So in my mind, this trip was to like go out here.
It was a tutorial.
It was a tutorial for if we go further away.
Do you have like owner's manuals or anything for the camper that told you how to do things?
No.
You had Google.
I have YouTube. And so I YouTubed a bunch of stuff, but it's one thing to watch it, but it's another thing to like experience it and do it. So like after Nikki had talked to this lady and they said there was like one other person out there, I was like, okay, good. I felt pretty good about it. I was like, all right, it'll give me time to breathe, figure it out, not have people watching me.
Get back into the swing of backing a trailer up.
Which I can back a trailer up pretty good. Now, what is different about this compared to like normal trailers, I'm accustomed to driving a trailer, so that's fine. But it's like I'm not used to driving like where you can't see directly behind you because they're like you don't
know how far you need to go.
Yeah, like when you look in your rearview mirror, it's just like a big box behind you.
Yeah, which I do better with. Which
is fine, but I actually put a camera on the back of it, which is pretty much useless. Even it's. Even when you're backing in something, because you're looking at where you're backing in, you're like, oh, there's nothing there. I guess it's good in case a kid or a dog runs out behind you, but hopefully you're not going 30 miles an hour to back something in. So anyway, she tells us there's only one other person there. Pick whatever spot you want. All right, awesome. We go out there. And now, mind you, I just have this event with my truck where I had 2 flat tires on the interstate. So I'm like, that's still fresh on my mind. I'm very sensitive to things like
Checking your tires constantly.
Checking my tires. I was like, I told Nikki, I said, let's not go the interstate. We're going to go down Highway 100.
That's all right, though. I'd probably go that way anyway.
And also, I needed to get a feel for the trailer. for the camper. So we took the highway. So it took us 2 hours to get there, and it should have taken us an hour and 15 minutes. But I'm like, that's fine. You know, take the little scenic route.
We're in relax mode.
We're camping. We're campers now. So we go through all these back roads. We're out in the middle of nowhere. And it's off the Tennessee River is where this place is. So we pull up. It's like somebody's property. Somebody bought this property and like made it a campsite.
That doesn't sound sketchy at all.
It was a little sketchy. So we pull in and we look over to the left, and there's like a marina there. There's like a little trailer where you can go get you some beer or whatever and do all that. I'm like, oh, you know, it was cool. And, you know, they had spots and a few boats out there. People were getting in and out of the the river. And then it shows like Crooked Creek campgrounds this way. So I'm like, I'll pull over this way. And guess what I saw when I pulled in?
A bunch of people.
Packed. Completely packed. And I looked at Nikki and I said, I thought you said that this was empty, because like I wasn't really having that conversation with her in my mind about like feeling dumb and want to make sure I got all the shit together and having space and just, you know, that was playing in my mind. That wasn't like
as your neighbors are watching you try to get your sewage hooked up.
That's not something that I vocalized. She's like, well, the lady said there's only 2 people there. And she's like, all right, well, they said spot 21's the best spot there, right by the water. And it's like janky as hell, you know? And I'm like, all right, whatever. People on both sides of 21. These are not pull-in spots, so you have to back in, which is fine. I don't mind that, but I don't like people watching me. So we pull in, and I'm like looking, all right, 21's right here. You got one person over here, and then like you got another person on the other side, and there's like fucking 20 of them just sitting out there, just like you would think. 20 people sitting at a table in front of their camper. Old big mamas too, big mamas and daddies out there, just big people, bigger than us, sitting out there.
Because that's what you would imagine with.
So the lady I'm like looking, I'm like, all right, there's 21 right there. So this lady comes walking up to us, and nice as can be. Hey, hun. I'm like, hello. I believe we're staying in spot 21. So she turns around to the people back behind her. They're in Bob and Debbie's spot, or whatever their names were. I guess it's like the other norms that are there. And then you hear the guy. Yeah. How long y'all staying? Oh, we're just here till Sunday. Oh, they're only here a couple days. Okay, honey, you pull in the grass right there and then just back right in.
You want us to guide you?
No, they didn't say anything like that. Nice as can be. And so all of a sudden, you know, that feeling that you get of just like nervousness and dread and just like, fuck yeah, I don't want anybody watching me do this. Again, I don't feel uncomfortable backing things in, but it might take me a minute to get it right.
Correct.
Something that
I will get that trailer where it needs to go. Is it going to be at Roger speed? Absolutely not. But I'm going to get it there.
So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do it. You know, you just got to rip the Band-Aid off. So I kind of pull down in the grass, and I really didn't have too much trouble parking it. I parked it too close to the other side, so I couldn't get my awning out. But the guy that was on the left side of me was like using my water connection and stuff. And you know, this son of a bitch is on like blocks, like his air conditioner on his
he lives there.
Yeah, he lives there.
He lives there.
So that brings me to the first point that I want to make about what I learned about camping last weekend is there's 3 different types of campers. There's the me that's like, oh, let's go camping. Let's figure this out. This will be fun. You got the Gene types, RIP Gene, where they leave their camper somewhere and then they just go there. You know, they pay whatever the monthly fee is. And then you got this third type. They live in their campers.
It's just like the bikers. There's 3 different types of bikers. There's 3 different types of campers.
These people live there. So when the lady told Nikki on the phone that there was only two people there, what she meant was there's only 2 people, or there's only one other person besides you there that are not the normal people that are there, packed in like sardines.
They're not. God, that's terrible.
So I get the thing backed in there, and we're hanging out.
Where you're like, hey, I need you to get off my water supply.
I didn't say anything. I'm the visitor in their world, knowing that the other people are sitting at that table, like, look at these yuppies here watching every move that I make.
He's gonna want his water supply, but he's gonna have to ask.
Well, I just hooked it up to the one next to me because there was an empty spot next to the people where there's a group of them.
Okay,
so
you had water.
So we had water. So I get that thing backed in. I don't know anything about a camper at this point. What I did realize, too, is the tank was full when I bought it. So the guy had filled it up, which I did not realize. So the actual tank was full. So in a camper, you can stick a hose in to fill the tank on the thing. So they call that boondocking. Mm-hmm. And you probably know this.
Okay.
Maybe you don't, but for the listener, they call it boondocking, where you go out into the middle of nowhere so you have water supply, which you don't really want to travel with it full, because you got your shit tanks and you got your water tanks, and apparently the water tank was full. So what I learned when I was there, I was like, oh, okay, so here's the city water hookup. So I had a hose and I hooked it up, a drinking water hose, not like a normal garden hose. Kind
of like you have hooked up to it right now?
Yes, that is a drinking water hose.
Gardening
so I hooked it up, and I don't know why I'm like this, but I just don't like people watching me. And they probably weren't. No,
they don't care.
They probably weren't. We were entertainment for them. Think about it. That's what I told Nikki. These people get up every morning, afternoon, around 10 or 11, go out and sit out there and crack a beer as soon as they wake up, and they just sit there all day.
Yeah.
I saw that for 2 days that I was there, knowing that that's what they do every single day.
Well, they probably thought, look at these people we're going to be best friends with.
Well, what I was going to say is, like, so seeing me there was like entertainment for them, watching me do all these things. And so when we got there, I didn't hook up the sewage or anything, because, like, I wasn't sure about it and I felt dumb. I have all the stuff that I needed. The only thing I had to buy for the camper is I bought some blocks, like plastic blocks, to level it, and then I bought the sewer thing.
It has the little crank things.
Yeah, it has a crank. So that's what. So after I parked it, I went and put the level on the floor inside, and luckily it was level. You know, the ground was level, and so I didn't have to adjust anything like that. So I unhooked it from the truck, and then I lowered the front down. You know, so it was level long ways, not just like sideways. So leveling it and everything was very short. But then, so I'm looking at everybody else's, because, you have the supports on the back, like you were just saying, that you crank them down, which are not jacks. They're just support. You're not supposed to try to lift it, because you'll bend them or break them. They're just supports for.
Oh, that's good to know.
They're not jacks. You're just supposed to tighten them enough to where, the back of the camper is the toilet. So if you're back there using the bathroom, it's got, it's just support there. So I'm looking at, and everybody's there permanently. So it's they've got something rigged up or whatever. So I go in and crank it down. Everything's level. All that was fine. And of course I'm looking out, looking at everybody, and they're watching me. Everybody's watching me.
Nobody's watching you.
They were watching me. It's normally I would say that in my mind, Tim, you just think that people are watching you, but they were watching.
They were judging you.
They were very much judging me. Now, I don't know if they were judging me for sure. I'm about 95% sure they were judging me, but they were 100% watching me. I was their entertainment for the day.
Yeah. Yuppie. City boy.
So we get in there, and of course, Frank's, while I'm trying to back the thing in, Frank's going back and forth. I'm like, Frank, sit down. And finally I said, Nikki, take him out of here. So she gets him out of there, because he's driving me crazy, because he's curious about, hey, what's going on here? So we get it out. We get it parked. We're hanging out in there. And the people next to us were really nice. And so I was like, all right. We didn't have anywhere to put our chairs, because the other people
they just took up all your space.
They took up all the space, so we put the chairs behind the camper, where the creek is.
I did notice that you have the good chairs.
Yes,
I have one of those, and they're the best thing ever.
I know. I bought those from Walmart, and the reason I bought them, because Graham next door, every time I go over there and hang out in his garage, he's got some of those. And I was like, I need to buy one of these.
I bought them because when Oliver was playing soccer, I would go with these cheap like chairs that would dig into my thighs, and they weren't for fat people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you bought the one that I did, but I have the same brand, but I have the extra large one that holds up to like 400 pounds or something like that.
I bought the extra large one.
And I carry that. It's in the back of my truck right now. I carry that thing with me everywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. So we set up camp there. Now, when we left, we took steaks because we bought that cow, and so we put them in the fridge because we were testing everything. Well, how well is that fridge going to do? Because we have it plugged in here, but we have it plugged into 110 volt. The people that are remodeling the house are supposed to put me a 30 in, and so it's just been on a regular plug, so you can't do too much.
So you're like going into this. You're going to end up upgrading your trailer.
No, I won't upgrade it. I mean, it makes sense to put the 30 amp in there because, like, in case somebody needs to stay out there or something. So I plugged the thing in. I'm like, okay, this is what it's like to have the real power. So we were able to use it to its full functionality. Never use the bathroom. And I think I texted you and I said, hey, I took a shit in this camper for the first time. So we had it all hooked up. The sink water's running. Hot water on demand. That thing's pretty sweet. You turn it, push a little button, and
Does it use propane?
It uses propane for that. And then the stove, we tested that. The only thing that we didn't have that I need to get, but I don't want to spend the money on it right now, is I need to get a Blackstone, like one of those camping Blackstones that like fold down and you can put it in the back of the truck or something.
You take any kind of grill with you or anything?
No, we were using the burners in the thing, but we were cooking like steaks and bacon. So like
smoking out.
Yeah, smoking that thing out. And of course, we didn't know what else to do, and we were kind of embarrassed. And I told Nikki, I was like, let's go ahead and cook something. So she cooked some steaks, or no, she cooked some bacon and eggs. This was around 5 or 6 o'clock that Friday night. She started cooking the bacon in there, and of course the smoke alarm starts going off, and all the people are sitting out there. I'm like, God, we look so dumb, like a bunch of rookies.
Well, you are
cooking bacon in the camper. That's the kind of shit that you cook outside. You don't do that inside.
Well, now everything inside smells like bacon.
It does, even to now. Like if you go in there right now, it smells like bacon still in there. So we go out there, we finish eating, we go sit out back, crack open a beer. And, we're chatting with the people. They invited us over a couple different times, and I know they wanted us to come over and hang out. And I probably would have even a better story than I have now.
I will say, you're always like, when I complain about my neighbors having their parties, you're like, why don't you just go hang out with them? Well, you should have gone and hung out with them.
I should have.
Should have taken your own advice.
But then on the other side of me, this gentleman comes walking up holding his Busch beer, his shirt halfway undone.
It was a tall boy.
It was a tall boy in a small koozie. Very little teeth. His name was Duck, and he was amazing. He was talking about, there's 10-pound catfish right here.
Right. You gonna go noodling?
Yeah, people are out there like fishing from the campsites, and I was just watching them. I'm like, please catch a fish. I wanted more than anything for somebody to
Nobody
catch
caught a fish?
They caught like a couple little ones, but like what I wanted to see is someone catch one. They're like, hey, we caught a fish, and then they go over there and skin that bitch and cook it. That's what I was hoping to see.
Well, when I was getting ready to come this morning, I was like, I need to look at the picture of Duck that you sent me. I was like, I'm going to dress like Duck. And then I realized I don't have any flannel button downs that are cut off like that. So I just went with this shirt instead.
But Duck was telling us how he actually, my house right up over there. And
he doesn't have a camper there.
No, he has a camper there, but his house is right over there. And I told Dickie, I'm like, he ain't got no house over there. he was just trying to like,
got a double wide over there.
He's trying to impress me. He's trying to impress me that he has like, I just stay over here because I work over here. So he apparently works in that marina area. Apparently they had a lot of damage when the snowstorm happened. So they were like rebuilding a lot of stuff over there. But the place was fine. It wasn't nice, but it
gave you all the stuff you needed.
Yes, and so then I needed to hook up the shit pipe the next day because you
had a shit.
No, it's fine. You can do it without it, because it's got the tanks for it. But like my objective was when I realized that the tanks were full, the freshwater tank was full. I was like, when we leave here, this whole thing's going to be empty. Because I want to make sure that I did all the things so I know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I go to get the pipe out. It's brand new in the box. I ordered on Amazon. It's like $25. So I ordered this thing. watch a YouTube video on how to do it. So, you hook it up and then you release the shit water and then you release the gray water to kind of wash it out.
Yes.
And all that. So I start hooking it up and there's just like a guy, just like other people, the other crew went out on the boat. This was the next day. They went out on their boat, but there was this couple just sitting there, just watching me.
They weren't watching you.
Peering into, oh yeah, they were sitting. I was from here to the end of the office here. He was watching me like this. And I was like, he's really watching me. So I don't want to look stupid. So I stopped what I'm doing. So I hooked it to the camper and then just left it on the ground. So then I like in my mind, because I'm
awkward,
psychotic. It was more. I was like, I don't want the people to get back and think that like I just had the shit water just going out on the ground because I left it there. Because I left it there. So an hour later, I went out there and I hooked it up, and I did. I mean, it's all so easy. It's all very easy. But
I would think so.
But I didn't know what I was doing, and so I flushed it all out. It's all a very clean process. I thought it was going to be a little sketchy.
Get a little shit on your hands.
Yeah. Well, I took gloves just in case, but like it was all easy. I drained the freshwater tank, and the thing travels a lot better when it's empty.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight. Was it like a 50-gallon tank?
No, I think it's like 30 or 35
That's
or
still
something.
a lot of weight.
But there's little buttons on there where you can see how much is in your actual tank. So before we left on Sunday, I made sure to flush everything out, ran all the water through it, basically cleaned it all up. But it's actually kind of cool how the toilet works in there. Have you ever used one in there?
No, Caitlin and I did a lot of research when we got our first Jeep, because Dad and I tried to get that camper for Uncle Bobby's house. And we wanted to do this. This is what we want to do, is trailer like to the Grand Canyon and stuff like that. Just instead of hotels, do that.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of research on it, and we just never pulled the trigger.
I mean, basically a camper has like a foot pedal that basically if you push it a little bit, it fills water a little bit in there. And then when you push it all the way down, it basically just opens a flap that your shit goes into a tank. And so it's a very simple process, but it seems pretty effective.
Yeah. I mean, I assume it's like a lot like an airplane.
It is. I mean, as a big fella, it's hard to be in there. I had to.
Is it tight?
I took a shower in there too, so I could experience that. It really wasn't too bad. Being a big guy, like whenever I was using the bathroom just to like get some air because it gets hot in there with the door closed, I cracked the door open to it, but it was fine.
How many people does that thing? It's not a huge camper, but
no, it's got a queen bed in it, and then the table area turns into a bed to a full, and then it's got 2 bunks in it.
Oh, okay.
So you can fit quite a bit of people.
You can take your family.
We're talking about next weekend going to a place in Clarksville, Mousetail Landing or something like that.
You're going to go see Duck?
No, we're going to have Eli come out and hang out. We'll grill out and stuff, and then maybe Freya stay the night because she wants to stay in there so bad. Like she wants to stay in one of those bunk beds. But yeah, it was definitely quite the experience. I feel like I know what I'm doing now.
Feel more confident?
I feel more confident.
So when you roll up into a KOA, you're like, I know what I'm doing, bitches.
But it's funny how many people live there. So the lady was telling us that like since COVID happened, Duck's lady friend told us the next day, like, yeah, guess how much they pay a month there? I don't know if I already told you.
Well, it's $30 a night. So I assume, $500 a month? I know that math doesn't matter.
No, $250 a month is what they pay.
But if you go nightly, it's $30.
Yes. If you think about it, they said a lot of people since COVID lost their jobs and all this kind of stuff, knowing that they probably get a disability or they get something. You can realistically live at a decent place. The place isn't too ghetto. I mean, it's a campground, but like $250 a month, you have your electric and your water, and all those people do is just sit out there and drink beer all day.
I'm assuming that you had one of the smaller campers that was there too.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them that were the people that were beside us had one about the same size as ours, but a lot of the campers out there were pretty big.
Yeah, yours is a starter one.
Yeah, that's a starter. They had some that had like slide outs. There were some that were like mine, Duck's was smaller than mine. The people that were on the other side of us was about the same size, but like a lot of the people that like the jeans, RIP Jean that out there, they have like the double slide outs and it's long. And
we looked at like the teardrop ones. It's just you just sleep in it. You don't hang out in it or anything. It's just the back opens to a kitchen and an exterior kitchen, and then it's just a queen size bed.
Yeah,
because it's smaller. Because at the time the Jeep couldn't pull as much.
We thought about doing something like that, but then we were like, well, because the whole purpose of us buying it was to live in it.
Well, yeah, it's not going to work for you what y'all need it for the next few months.
But like we don't really have to live in it. We can live in between because our room and our bathroom is still available. Of course, when they bust out that wall to the house, I don't know if that bathroom is going to be available anymore. Because
I don't see how it would be. Well, they still have to take the brick and stuff out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't, because the shower is even up against that wall. I don't know if they thought all that through. I guess we'll see.
Well, our plan was we were going to buy like even with the Gladiator, we could buy like the teardrop one, and then we could do like a rooftop tent on the back of the Gladiator for the kids. Because Sam's working now, so he won't ever go anywhere with us again.
Well, after we're done with the remodel, you want to borrow, you can.
Well, I don't know. How heavy is it?
3,000.
I can pull it.
How much can your truck pull?
7,000.
It'd probably be, you just make sure that you pull it when it's empty.
I got rid of the Ram because I never used it to pull anything. I had it for 5 years. We never really used it to pull or haul. We used it to haul stuff off every now and then, but part of the reason I got the Ram was because when I had my two-door Jeep, it was so small that Sam was complaining about getting into the back of it because he was a big kid. And so I went as big as I could afford to go, and that's why I got the Ram. And I was like, oh, this is great. I lose all the Jeep stuff that I used to do, going to Woolies and Windrock. But I gain be able to pull a bigger camper.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and we just never did it. So whenever Sam started driving, I don't need it to haul stuff from Home Depot because I have Sam's truck if I really needed to. But the Gladiator gives us enough truck capabilities to do what we need to do, like haul off the carpet that she ripped out of the bedroom last week and stuff like that. But I get my Jeep capabilities back. So
when I bought my truck, I bought it specifically one that had a tow package on it, and I've never used it.
Yeah, same.
It's awesome. As soon as I plug in the trailer, like there's this whole internal screen that comes up. We're like, hey, and it tells you if all the lights are okay. I didn't know that.
How far back? The Ram would tell me how big my trailer is, and it would adjust the blind spot monitoring for all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't pull a lot. We rented trailers and we borrowed trailers to go get the motorcycles and stuff, and that was the only time I ever got to experience it. But I don't tow a lot, and I remember many years ago, I borrowed the trailer that was at Dad's house when he died.
R.I.P. Freeman H.
R.I.P. Freeman H. And I rented a Trailblazer, and I towed that big camper that big trailer down to West Palm, Florida.
Oh, really?
I'd never pulled a trailer before. And I hooked that thing up. We filled it there was 2 motorcycles in there and all of our luggage and all of Virginia's family, her brother, sister, all of them. We all just piled in there, and I figured it out. It takes me a while, like when we get the compressors for work for winter.
Yeah.
Like I go pick all those up, and it takes me a while to figure out how to back them up because I can't see them because they're so narrow. Mm-hmm. But I do better on larger things I can see.
Yeah, I've always known that, like, even when I used to pull trailers all the time, like the bigger ones are easier to deal with than the smaller ones. They don't jackknife as easily as the other ones.
But like Fords, and I don't know if your truck has this, have the trailer backup feature where, like, I guess you use the knob to back it up and it does it automatically for you. That's weird to me.
Well, I don't know what you mean.
Like there's a little knob or something like on the column, not on the column, on the shit in the middle.
Okay.
And I guess you, instead of using the steering wheel to back it up, I guess you use that so we're right is right instead of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe mine does have that because there's some features I don't really know what it is.
No, you'd know if I don't know if yours has it. Yours has a trailer brake controller on it though.
Yeah, it has that, and then it has different modes that you can put it in for towing, which I didn't use. But
I always put that Maverick in tow mode when I'm pulling a compressor, which is completely unnecessary. I just want to feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But when I had that Maverick for work, every time I'd hook a trailer to it, it would know.
Yeah, it's pretty nice when it pops up, and then you can save it like as a guest trailer or your trailer. So I'd label mine as the camper, and so it's pretty nice. I'm glad that it goes and does like a light check and stuff on it.
Yeah,
and it's like I got really good at like backing my truck or backing a vehicle hook up to a trailer, so I never really had to use it.
Oh, the camera I'm backing up and hooking up is...
Well, so I'm like looking at the camera the first time I hooked it up when I went and bought the thing. I was like looking at it and I was like, oh, that's nice. The camera, got pretty close. But then like when I was hooking it up to take it out, I was like, I can't really tell it because the camera was a little too grainy for it. Then I forgot that it has like a button where you can see the actual...
Yeah, it zooms in on the hitch.
Zooms in on the hitch. I'm like, well, hell, that's what makes it really easy.
That's the kind of stuff I think is beneficial. The blind spot monitoring... where my truck would adjust for that was very beneficial because sometimes I can't see shit back there.
Yeah, but it was good. I got everything that I needed out of it. I feel like I was probably pressured the right amount. Usually it's myself.
Yes.
But those people were for sure watching me. I don't know if they were judging me, but I know for sure they were watching me.
They probably wanted to help you. They were probably waiting for you to ask for them for help. They could be like, hey, look at these yuppie rookies. They got to figure this shit out.
Yeah, that's true.
And they were like, they're going to ask us for help, and we're going to be ready. Like, they've waited all month for a newbie to come by.
Well, that's what I was saying a minute ago. It's like, we talked about doing this podcast. I'm like, hey, I got a good story for you because, we don't ever do anything.
Yeah.
And so now we had something to talk about.
Oh, I was excited for you.
Well, what are they talking about? Like when they're sitting out there all day?
That time they went to downtown Nashville.
I guess. Speaking of downtown Nashville, so let me tell you about my Chris Stapleton experience.
I was going to ask about this. I'm jealous because I'd love to see Chris Stapleton live.
First of all,
but not at Nissan Stadium.
Chris Stapleton is probably one of my all-time favorite artists. And I'm sure he is for so many other people, but he's like the real deal finger to everybody without giving the finger because he just doesn't give a shit about any of it.
Yes.
He doesn't care about this country music scene. He doesn't care about any of these.
He doesn't care about Nashville. That's for damn sure.
I think he said, he's got a song that says that. But I think he said like 5 words the whole concert.
He just sang.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not good with words, so I'm just going to sing some songs. I'm just like, do it, man.
That's all we need.
So I get this bright idea Saturday morning. The show was Saturday night. I get this bright idea. I'm like, you know what? I texted Nikki and I said, hey, you want to get something to eat before the show or you want to eat here? And she's like, we can go get something. I was like, all right, that's the answer that I was fishing for because what I was going to do is I'm going to get an Uber to pick us up. Mm-hmm. We'll go into, somewhere in West Nashville out of the traffic, get them to pick us up and take us to the show. And then like after I did it said, do you want to schedule a ride home? I'm like, okay, yeah, hell yeah, I do. And so I told the Uber in the app, I said, I need you to pick us up at Cinco de Mayo off of White Bridge Road at 7:00 p.m. So we left the house at 5, got up there about 5:30. So we had an hour and a half to drink and have dinner and all that. And then the guy gets there and I'm like, okay. 7:00. This is working out beautifully. Old Troy, he's talking about smoking weed and doing all the things. I'm like, all right. I guess this is the kind of
you
Uber
gotta upgrade
driver.
your Uber a little bit.
I've never taken an Uber in Nashville. I've only taken them in New York. So that was a first for me here. So he picks us up, takes us down there. I mean, this place is packed. How many people does that stadium hold?
I think for a football game it holds 65,000, but but then you have to add the seats down on the field that they put for that kind of stuff.
But they had the backside of it.
So let's just say 60,000.
There's at least 60,000. It was packed.
Yeah,
I saw some.
And you're going to do it again in August.
I know with the Foo Fighters. Well, that's what I told Nikki. I was like, if this whole Uber thing works, then we'll do it.
Let me offer you a different alternative that I offer everybody because of where I live. Why don't you just leave your car at my house and have somebody pick you up from my house?
Okay, well that will work fine. I mean,
it's just it means your car is safer. Well, maybe
not in Antioch.
But I mean, it's safer and it's actually easier to get to and from than trying to go to the west side.
So Troy drops us off.
But he doesn't drop you off where you expected him to drop you off.
Well, he dropped us off in the middle of the road because he's like, hey, y'all, I just want to do a Yui right here.
I've learned this because I used to do the same thing. Even when I lived in Sylvan Park, I would Uber when I go to Titans games and stuff like that. But they would never get me like to the stadium. It would be like the drop-off area, like blocks away.
It was so packed that I was fine with it because everybody was walking that way. So we go in, or he drops us off. I'm like, man, this is awesome. Feeling good. Had a few drinks, dropped us off right there. We had to walk about 5 minutes over there. We get up to go in, and they told Nikki that her bag was too big. Her bag was, let me show the camera. Her bag is this big.
Yes, it's too big.
So they're like, you have to go over to that trailer to put. I'm like, I'm just like, I don't like this. This is bad, but whatever. So we go over there, and there was no line, and she was able to give the bag real quick. They gave her a wristband for it. I was like, all right, this is fine. And then they're like, that'll cost $10. I'm like, all right, it's $10, whatever.
How much was the Uber?
Okay, so the Uber so I scheduled the Uber. It was $15.
It definitely didn't cost you $15.
It was $15 for them to pick us up at 7:00 at Cinco de Mayo. And then what I was saying a minute ago, the app says, do you want to ride home? I'm like, okay. So I put on there 11 and I looked at the price and it was like $18. I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll do that.
Still cheaper than parking.
Because if you park down there, it'll probably be $50 to park. When they have events like that, it's really high. I remember
I always parked at the library because it was $8 for many years, and then it burned down, or so I don't have anywhere to park downtown anymore.
So I'm like, okay, I'm ahead at this point. I'm like, I'm doing this. So I scheduled it for 11, and it's like, oh, this car can't do this at 11. I'm like, okay. So I pick another car. Oh, this car can't do this at 11. So it's like, pick a different time. So I put on there 10:45 because they have to stop playing at 11 in Nashville. They can't play past 11 because of noise ordinances.
Unless they pay a fine.
Chris Stapleton doesn't strike me as the type of fella
he's not Dave Grohl.
Yeah, Dave Grohl may do that. So I put 10:45 on there, got the Uber for like $18. I'm like, all right, we're set. So we get to the show. We walk in. We had to put her bag in the storage thing, paid $10, whatever. We go. What I really like is there's 60,000 people at this place. Lainey Wilson was playing at this point because the doors opened at like 6. We didn't even get the Uber driver to pick us up until 7 because I didn't want to sit there till the end of time, just like, watching bands that I didn't care about.
Yes.
Which I don't really care about Lainey Wilson, but it was fine. Yeah. We saw probably about 45 minutes of her. But what I like is there's 60,000 people at this place, and you don't have to wait in line to get a beer.
No. Really?
Because they have all these things set up literally at every gate. Like they just have carts with ice full of beer, and they all have their little digital Clover things.
I wish they do that shit during a football game.
I mean, it was literally you walk right up to any of them and immediately can get a beer. And I was like, I figured we'd have to wait in line. So like I bought 2 beers and Nikki got a drink. And so we go and find our seats, which our seats were pretty good. I don't know. I'll show you where they were later when we're finished with this. But so we go and sit down, and Lainey Wilson's playing. I'm like, oh, it's beautiful outside. That's when I texted you.
I know. I was sitting outside of Tailgate Brewery.
I mean, it was beautiful outside. It had been pouring down rain for like 3 days. It literally cleared up just for this show. It wasn't humid.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this earlier in the week, how it was going to be miserable for you.
Yeah, you're like, I was like, yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to Chris Stapleton on Saturday. You were being a dick. You're like, yeah, that'll be a good show, but it'll get rained out.
I didn't say it'd get rained out. You're going to get rained on.
I don't know. I told Nikki, I said, if it rains, they're not going to cancel the show. If it storms, they will cancel the show.
Probably.
And so we're watching Lainey Wilson, and she's about to wrap it up. I'm like, I'm going to get me another beer. Go get me 2 more beers. And so we go out. She gets 2 drinks, and I get 2 beers. And we go back and sit down. And so we're waiting for Chris Stapleton to come on. Chris Stapleton starts playing. And like the second song in, some guy like, they have guys like at a baseball game, like cold beer, like walking up and down the stands. And I was like, like I'll grab another
Welcome
beer.
to the world outside of your house.
I know. I've never done anything like that. So I got a beer.
Is this the first concert you've been to at Nissan?
Yeah.
I've never been to one. I was just asking.
So I buy a beer from this guy that's walking up and down the stands, and this other guy that's sitting close to us runs up, and he's trying to buy a beer. And the guy's like standing like right here beside me, which I didn't care. And the guy looks down at me. He's like, hey, you want a beer? I said, what? He said, you want a beer? I said, yeah, I'll take a beer. He's like, I'm going to buy you a beer because you got a nice beard. He told me I had a nice beard, so he bought me a beer. I'm like, all right, that's like, $20 for a beer or whatever it cost over there. We watched the show. It's fantastic, man. Like, Chris Stapleton can...
When the new stadium opens, it'll be even better, too, because it's enclosed and it's designed for concerts and stuff.
So the Uber, so the Uber gets there at about 10:30. 10:20 even. And you're getting the messages on the app. And he's like, hey, I'm here. And I'm like, well, it's 10:20, dude. I said, it's going to be at least 10:45. I texted him back. I said, we'll be out there at 10:45. And then when it got to about 10:35, I texted him. I said, hey, it's probably going to be more like 11 if you need to leave. That's
Didn't you
fine.
schedule it for 11?
No, I scheduled it for 10:45.
Oh, okay.
And so he's like,
Well, that
no.
was stupid.
He's like, no, I'll wait. No problem. I'll wait. Okay. The show, he wraps it up. He ends it with Tennessee whiskey, and it's starting to sprinkle. And we're like, all right, I don't know if we're going to be able to I don't know what's about to happen here. By the time I got up to the top of the gate to go out, the bottom just drops out, soaking wet. I mean, soaking wet. And I'm like looking on the phone. I'm like, where's this guy at? It's got the little map, and I'm like, trying to see, how it's got like the little.
No, I get it. You are terrible at walking navigation.
Yes,
we learned this in New York.
I know. I'm not good at it. So I'm like, the guy's like, oh, they made me move over to here because they have a rideshare area.
Yes.
So this goes on for like 30 or it's 11:30 at this point.
Probably 11:38-ish.
At 11:30, and the guy says, I'm sorry, I can't wait. And then he leaves. He leaves me. It stopped raining at this point, but I'm already soaking wet and miserable. You looking to see what time? What time was it?
11:46 is when you texted me.
So this guy leaves at 11:30, and I'm sorry, your buzz is wearing off because you're soaking wet and you're mad because your Uber left.
No, I can tell from your text that your buzz hasn't wore off yet.
And there's 60,000 people.
Yes.
All waiting for rideshare over in that area. So I try to get another Uber. And guess how much it was when I went on there?
$38.
It was $100.
Good Lord.
For an Uber. I told Nikki, I said, I don't think this plan's going to work the way that we want it to work. I don't think I'm going to drive down there next time.
No, you just drive to my house and I will take you.
So I scheduled the Uber because it was $100, and I was like, all right, whatever. We got to get, Nikki's like, well, call Joseph, or I was like, I'm about to call Jack. Or somebody's going to come pick me up. And so I got this other Uber, I scheduled it, and then it canceled on me. So we're sitting here on the side of the road, right, by that United Rentals or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a guy beside us, and that taxi van pulls up, and the guy hails the taxi, and he's like, hey, and he's like, I need to go over there by the airport. How much is it? He's like, oh, it's $45. I was like, damn. I said, hey, can you take two people? And I said, would you guys mind? Like, oh, no, come on. So the guy's like, $40 for each of you. $40 for each. Okay, $40, fine.
You held a cab.
So he took us to...
You went to the airport first.
We went to the airport, and then he took us back to White Bridge Road. I didn't get home till 1 o'clock.
No, so Ubering around downtown is terrible because they have all these drop-off spots that are in the most inconvenient locations. They didn't used to have that. So when Caitlin and I used to go downtown, especially when we lived in Sylvan Park, we would just Uber so we could drink and then Uber back. But whenever I would go to football games, I would just have Caitlin drop Sam and me off as close to the stadium as she could get, and then I would call her to come pick us up.
Yeah, but making her having to navigate through all that crap, it's just awful.
Well, so one year, we wanted to give Sam the full 4th of July experience, so we did downtown Nashville on the 4th of July. Don't ever do that.
No, never.
We got down there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but we Ubered down there. Same thing happened. Her bag was too big, but there was because they had everything blocked off because all of Broadway and everything becomes part of the event.
Yeah.
And so they didn't have an option for us to go check the bag. So I just like sent Sam and Caitlin on in, and then I got an Uber, because we just lived in Sylvan Park. So I just grabbed an Uber, went back, put her stuff, and then Ubered back. So we got there at like 2:00 in the afternoon, and we stayed on the front row of Riverfront Park until the fireworks were over at like 11. And then the same thing happened. There was no way to catch an Uber. So we walked from the riverfront to the NES building, which was fucking terrible. Sorry, Patty. It was terrible. And we walked all the way there, and then we waited another hour and a half for the Uber to come pick us up. In the time that we waited, we probably could have walked the rest of the way home. But what we do now is we just Uber as close as we can. But when we go out for like her birthday or stuff, we'll Uber downtown. So we were going to, maybe it was Bob's Steakhouse or something like that. It passed Bob's, and I'm like, hey man, that's where you're supposed to drop off. Oh, I can't drop you off right there. I got to go around the block to this drop off spot. And Caitlin's like, I didn't wear the shoes to be walking. I just figured we'd get dropped off at the hotel where Bob's is. But apparently they can't. They have to take you to the rideshare areas.
I don't know. All I know is I've only experienced Uber in New York, and it's like a well-oiled machine out there. It's just like pop, pop, here to here. Everybody's stopping on the side of the road, so it doesn't matter. What do you mean terrifying?
Terrifying. Riding with an Uber driver in downtown New York is terrifying.
No, it's fun. But here in Nashville, no. So this was going to be the precursor to when we go see Foo Fighters in August, and the plan all the way up until about 10:45 or 11 o'clock went off perfectly fine. Oh yeah, that's the other thing is that. So I'm like worried because this guy's waiting for us, and then we have to go get Nikki's bag. Yeah, and then it's pouring down rain.
So here's what you're going to do for Foo Fighters. You're going to come to my house. Maybe we go have dinner or something. I will drop you off at the foot of the pedestrian bridge, and you just walk over the pedestrian bridge. And then you tell me whenever you're ready to go, because it's only going to take me 20 minutes to get there.
But you know that Dave Grohl's going to play until 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's fine, as long as I know in advance. You can't just text me at 11:30 and be like, hey.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that part of the story is I texted you before we got in that cab, and I said, I'm going to need you to come pick me up.
Yes, but I was asleep. But if I know I need to pick you up, I won't be asleep. And then you don't have to pay for an Uber, and your car will be safe-ish.
Safe-ish. I don't know. It sucked, though. It was a good plan. Maybe not for a concert where there's so many people there.
It's rough. Everything done. You know, we talk about this all the time when we try to go to lunch at work. I don't like going places I can't just park.
I know.
And anything you do downtown.
That's why I don't go to lunch with you guys, because I don't want to park.
Well, Caitlin and I have this. We just hate finding parking. So we go to two places when we go out for dinner now. We go to Husk, which has a parking lot that's never too full for us to park in. And we go to, now we found the Finch, which is where Flying Saucer used to be at Union Station.
Yeah.
And they have that big parking lot down below, and that cost me $10 to park there, and it's worth it. I don't ever have to struggle to park. I can't stand finding parking.
It's just so expensive, too.
But I've done the same thing that you did, where I drove to town, had dinner, and left my car at the restaurant and Ubered wherever I needed to go. I've done that.
Yeah.
And my results were about the same as yours.
Yeah, but it's probably a little bit better if it's not like on a night where there's so many people.
I mean, you did go
Stadium.
on a Saturday night to downtown Nashville for Chris Stapleton.
It was awesome. The show was awesome. That's all that mattered to me.
So now you got Foo Fighters with their weird drummer.
It's going to be awesome, too.
He's a weird drummer. Have you watched him play?
No.
He doesn't play like a normal drummer.
Well, what does he play like?
I'm not a drummer, but I know how to play drums. I understand that he doesn't do this.
That's fine.
He opens. He's all open. It's just weird to watch.
Yesterday, I went back because I saw somebody else say something about that new Olivia Rodrigo song, how it sounds like Everlong, and so I played it.
The opening is Everlong.
I mean, it's the exact chords, which I'm like, okay, Olivia Rodrigo's been known to like. Well, all artists do that to where like if you write something that's familiar, so immediately people are like, that sounds like Everlong. But the kicker on the whole thing is like when you get to the middle of the song, it starts doing that on the drums where,
yeah, I told you,
like the Foo Fighters,
So I went through the comments on her video to see if anybody mentioned that. Nobody mentioned it that I saw, but somebody said they really got that 90s rock sound going on here.
Well, it's because all these kids don't know Everlong.
I'm like, you mean Everlong?
I mean, it is a pretty... It's one of those situations where I can probably see Dave Grohl coming out and playing the guitar part for her while she sings it at an award show.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm sure that's probably... I don't think that they would be mad about it, but it is Everlong. It is those chord progressions. But anyway, I was going to ask you about... there was a show. What show was it? I don't remember. I watched that Crash last night. You watch that on Netflix?
Yeah, I already knew the story, but we watched it.
I watched it on, there was like something similar on Hulu.
Is that where I watched it?
I think so.
Because I watch a bunch of shows on YouTube that are based on that kind of stuff. There's one called That Chapter, and I thought maybe it was That Chapter that did it. But we may have watched it on Hulu because we were watching it and I was like...
For the listeners, it was about that girl that basically was going 100 miles an hour and slammed the car into the side of a building.
No lift, full send. Fuck it.
Yeah.
She did.
You know, I was getting mad listening to her mom trying to defend her and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, look, this is what happened. That girl, you can tell by the way that she acts in those videos, is a petulant little bitch. And she didn't get her way.
She didn't.
She didn't get her way. And she's like, well, I'll show them. And then you can see where they're trying to grab the steering wheel and it went out into neutral. And, you know, they're the guys in the car are trying to save themselves. And she plows it into the wall, not giving a shit if she kills herself and them. And she ends up killing them and she's alive and in prison and will probably get out in the next 10 years.
Netflix just gives us the worst parents ever.
I know, man. I mean, I think that people like to see that because then they're like, well, I'm not as bad of a parent as they are.
What's funny is I'll follow Derek Cahill. You know who he is?
Yeah.
And he does his little reviews of documentaries and stuff. And he's like, I just watched another one called The Crash. I'm like, all right, sold. Don't know what it's about. Got to watch it. As soon as we started it, I knew the story.
Yeah. I think it was a Hulu thing about a year or two ago that came out.
But we watched one after that about, and I think we had watched this one before, but it was about this woman and her father killed the husband.
I don't know. Maybe
the Scottish guy.
I don't think.
And then his kids went back to Scotland.
Yeah, I think I did watch that.
I mean, just beat the ever living hell out of him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was going to ask you about Widow's Bay. What do you think about that?
I love Widow's Bay. I think I'm an episode behind. That's the kind of show that I like. I thought Caitlin would be into it. But every time I put it, I waited for her to start it. So I started when there was 4 episodes already out, and she was just scrolling. She had no interest, but it's like her kind of show, so I'm surprised.
It's pretty good. I don't really know where it's going. It's on Apple TV for the listeners. It's got, what's that guy's Reese?
I don't know his name, and I can't think of what else he's from.
He plays in that show that was on Netflix with Claire Danes.
But it's got Milton from Office Space in it.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, that's a pretty good show. But yeah, I'm trying to plow through House of Cards. I'm tired of watching. Actually, I'm tired of watching that. I'm tired of sitting out here.
Well, I was going to bring the motorcycle out, but there's too much risk. Yeah. That sky, even though the weather tells me it's not going to rain.
Well, we were sitting there in the living room last night because so what's happened here is they're at a standstill because codes did not like the plans, and it had to be more specific to how thick the concrete's going to be, what wood are you using. So they had to go back. It wasn't our contractor saying, hey, we're going to use this concrete and it's going to be this thick. They had to go back to the designer and they had to put it in the plans. And so they just finished that. So there's been no movement on the house for more than a week. And so they finished that. So they're resubmitting to Fairview Codes tomorrow. And then I don't know when they'll even get back out here, but my contractor's like, we're ready to go. We're ready to knock, because the first thing they got to do is knock that wall out and then pour the footers and then start framing it. They're like, we're ready to do all of it. Oh. And so
I don't know, just Caitlin just doing the floor in the bedroom has ruined my life. So,
well, what I was going to say is we were sitting up there last night. Nikki had gone out with her parents and went and had dinner and all that and got back. And I was sitting down here. I just sat down here all day. But then we were sitting there, and when we watched that crash, she was like, it's pretty uncomfortable sitting in here because, like, what I was going to say is after I knew they weren't going to be here for a week, I pulled my chair back out into the living room and dragged my TV. It's sitting on the floor. We'll go up there in a minute. You can look at it. but she's just sitting in a chair. And like what I noticed was Frank yesterday was the first time we like sat in there for more than like an hour or so and watched something. And Frank keeps on coming up to me, when he just comes up to me, he's just standing there staring at me. And so
like change.
And before that means like, hey, I got to go pee. So I go open the door. He doesn't want to go out and he just keeps staring at me. I'm like, what? Stop staring at me. What do you want? And it's like, I'm in his spot, like where the couch was. So I'm sitting in his spot. I think he was telling me, he's like, hey man, you're in my spot. So he doesn't like it either. So we're just sitting there and like, everything's at disarray. And
so Caitlin ripped all the carpet out of our bedroom and the original hardwood floor from the house was there. So she refinished it.
I was going to say, it looked pretty nice from the picture.
Yeah, she did a great job, but Rufus does not like it.
Did she go out there with like some sandpaper or something?
No, she went to Home Depot and rented a machine.
Like a full machine?
Yeah,
I bet that shit dust is everywhere.
No, it did a good job. She did a good job of keeping it. I mean, she kept the bedroom closed and she stained it and sealed it and it looks great, but Rufus does not like it. He wants the carpet back. So she bought a rug and Oliver goes, when we got home, because Oliver's at my house right now, he's like, what's that box on the porch? I'm like, it's a rug for the bedroom. He's like, well, then why did y'all refinish it if y'all were just going to put a rug down? I'm like, I don't know, Oliver. I just do what I'm told.
God.
But I did. But I did take Oliver to see Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, that was good.
It was good. He enjoyed it. And I didn't fall asleep.
That
was my achievement.
I went to a late show and didn't fall asleep. And I thought it was good. And we were talking about this earlier. Like every Star Wars movie, the critics or the reviews are always bad.
Well, it's because Rise of Skywalker was bad.
I thought it was fine.
No, Rise of Skywalker was bad.
No, it's fine. All of them are fine. It's like they're different. This one was
season 4 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it was
I'm fine with that.
It was an extended episode of The Mandalorian. It was fine, but I love how they use the puppets. One of my favorite parts is and it was actually, I watched it again last night because they let you see the first 3 minutes on Hulu. And I was like, oh, what's this? And I watched it and it has the scene where they're standing there in the thing and like Grogu's on Mandalorian's back and those bombs are about to go off and he's like going tapping his helmet. It's so funny because like they're puppets and if it was CGI, it would look dumb.
Well, the stuff that they did use CGI for,
it's probably him eating or something.
It's the hut. Huts. And I don't know how CGI has gotten worse, but it has gotten so much worse.
It is weird how it looks, but like all of the scenes with Grogu, if you really think about the movie making part of that, like they probably had to spend so much time on those puppets, making them do all those things that they want them to do. And then Grogu, the second half of the movie was about him, you know? And it's like there was a lot of it. And those little dudes.
Those mechanics.
The little mechanics. Where did they first appear? They appeared in Rise of Skywalker, didn't they?
I think so. But I think they've always been in
they've been in. Yeah, they've always
I do have one complaint about The Mandalorian. And I complained about this to Caitlin last night on the way home from the movie. How does he get his weapons back?
Oh, whenever
he's in the hut, dying. They took his weapons. The Hutts took his weapons from him before they threw him in the pit.
Yeah.
But whenever he wakes up, he's over there reholstering his gun. He's got everything. Completely useless scene.
Maybe Grogu used the Force and got it.
I don't know. Maybe because he got his rifle back from the first season of the show. Whenever he went into the gun runners, and I was like, well, they could have just let him get all of his weapons back at that time. But he got his knife back. He got his. I don't know. It bothers me.
I don't know. I think that the movie was fine. All the people complaining about it is just...
It's because they want Jedi. That's what they want. They want Jedi. And there's no Jedi.
Aren't they making one soon?
Yeah, probably. I think they're doing the Star Killer.
I don't know what that is.
Well,
but anyway, that was a good movie. There's a lot of good movies that are coming out. Masters of the Universe is coming out.
Can't wait for that. I watched Marty Supreme last night.
I heard about that. Is it pretty good?
It's okay.
Well, then why are you even bringing it up if it's just okay?
Because I was informing you that I watched Marty Supreme because your son was all about how I need to watch it.
What about what other preview did we see? We saw a preview for Spider-Man, and then the Odyssey's coming out.
I haven't seen they had the preview for Declaration Day or whatever.
Oh, they didn't have that. Are you talking about the
Steven Spielberg?
They didn't. I was telling her. I said I hope that they have that
Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day. They didn't have the preview for that.
It looks awesome.
I know. I keep hearing that it's going to be awesome, and I was hoping to see that preview, but they didn't show that. They showed the preview for Spider-Man.
I didn't get that.
Masters of the Universe.
I got that.
There's a couple other ones. Some movies that look like they're pretty good.
I'll go see Masters of the Universe on Nathan's birthday.
That movie's going to be stupid, though.
Yeah. Maybe I'll watch the old Dolph Lundgren one first.
I mean, that would be good. I mean, if they made He-Man look too cool. It's like if they give him they gotta give him his stupid hair and like the bangs right in the front. That'd be amazing if they did that.
We talked about this. The first preview that came out for it, I was like, this just looks stupid. But they redeemed themselves with the second preview.
Well, usually the first one's like a teaser.
Well, the teaser made it look like it was going to be in our world. I want them to go to Eternia.
We did see they did have a longer Odyssey preview.
I didn't get an Odyssey preview.
It was pretty good.
I want to see the Odyssey.
It's going to be awesome. It's got all the Chris Nolan's players.
All of them.
All of them are in it. It's going to be actually the movies this summer I think will be better than they've been in a while.
It's been a while. And I'm hoping that us going to the movies yesterday will allow Caitlin to be like, hey, we can go to the movies more often. But she just doesn't like going to the movies. But the unfortunate part is the bar at the Green Hills Theater wouldn't give me 2 drinks at once.
Yeah, they won't do that.
They wouldn't let me get Caitlin's, so I had to send her out to get her own. And so I don't know how to work around that.
I don't like it when people do that because, well, I understand why they do it.
I do too.
But like,
I am a 42-year-old man and I'm inconvenienced.
Well, I've even had to say this before. I'm like, it's going to take a little bit more than 2 drinks to have any kind of effect on me.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
It's like I'm not proud to say that, but that's the truth.
Well, it's like Roadhouse. I told you this the other day. Texas Roadhouse won't let me order a marg and a beer. I was like, hey, I'll have a marg and a Modelo because they're $5 Modelos. And I'm like, okay. And they just bring me my marg. And the first time I was like, where's my beer? And then I finished my marg and my beer appeared. Apparently you can order 2 at once, but they won't bring you the beer until your margarita's gone.
I mean, I get it. I guess it's just, that's why I drink at home.
Well,
alone out here.
Sometimes I just need to get the hell out of the house.
Yeah, I know. I need to do more things so then we can talk about more things on the podcast.
Yeah.
And usually there's not a lot to talk about because neither of us do anything.
That's true. But you know what? You're a concert going, camping some bitch now.
I guess so, but I'll let you know how the next one goes. I'll be like a professional whenever I pull up to this new campsite.
Whip that thing up in there and hook the shit pipe up real quick.
I will. And I'll hook the water up and it'll all be good. Goodbye.